Welcome to Donington Park for the season finale of the Ginetta GT Championship. It's still all to play for in the GT5 Pro category, so let's see who comes out on top.
These are the highlights then of what turned out to be quite a lively race. In the end, Colin White being edged towards the grass early on, Callum Davis getting the race lead and turning into Redgate corner ahead. Big slide from Karim Sekat became a spin. Will Rochford going off the road in avoidance, shedding bodywork, and then Ella Lloyd in her G40 had her own moment at the bottom of the trainer curves as well. Despite dropping wheels into the gravel, she was able to dig her way out and carry on and catch back up to the G40 traffic. And was able to make a move on the inside of the car of Sam Harvey going up towards McLean's corner and through Coppice. Then onto the grass went Pablo Jecquier. He had a big moment. Up front, Luke Reed under attack from Mackenzie Douglas. Race leader Callum Davis was getting away. Finally, Douglas was able to make the move as Luke Reed went deep into the Melbourne hairpin. And once released, Douglas charged off in pursuit of Callum Davis, but it was too little too late. He couldn't quite get there in time. How they finished, nose to tail. Callum Davis just ahead of Mackenzie Douglas, but with that red flag being shown at the very end for a parked car, the results gone back a lap. Leona Theobald taken out of the result as the cause of the red flag. A look at the best bits of that race then, which meant that a good start by Luke Reed in the end would come to nothing. Although Ruben Haig made a good start, Callum Davis was the man on Luke Reed's tail as they went down towards the opening corner. They turned their way onto the top of the Craner curves and then accelerated down towards the old hairpin where Callum Davis made a big dive on the inside. Luke Reed had to turn out of the corner to avoid contact and as a consequence ended up getting stuck in the gravel. Callum Davis himself was then tagged around at the Melbourne hairpin. He got involved with Mackenzie Douglas, who carried on until he ran out of gears, but the safety car was deployed, that bunched them all up. Davis had a chance to recover but didn't really have the pace on the restart as it became a race-long battle between Ruben Haig and Conor Garlick, who oh so briefly got the lead at Goddard's. Ruben Haig fought back, but Garlick ultimately with a 5-second penalty for track limit offences fell to 4th place. Ruben Haig coming through as the race winner. Colin White ran 3rd early on, but then he got mugged as well and fell down through the order. The race leaders spent most of the race nose to tail, but with constant excesses of the track, so the penalty was applied to Conor Garlick and back he fell. And that gave Blake Anglis 2nd place, Colin White promoted to 3rd, and this was the demise of Mackenzie Douglas. Quite literally a box full of neutrals as he came out of the Melbourne hairpin and a hugely frustrated driver. Ruben Haig then would win for the 7th time this year in the G56s, and Sam Harvey would score a maiden win in the G40 class within the GT5s, setting us up nicely for the last round of the championship coming up later in the day. So to recap on the race, good getaway made by Blake Anglis, bad start by Mackenzie Douglas. Eventually he coaxed the car into life and set off in pursuit of everybody and carved his way through the pack as into turn 1 at Redgate it was Blake Anglis that led the way, but Ruben Haig got up on the inside of Colin White and came out of the corner ahead. Down through the Craner curves for the first time, Anglis looked to be building a lead. Callum Davis though was on his toes, working his way up the order, and so from 5th on the grid, he was carving his way through traffic as Colin White ran out wide. When Ruben Haig hit the front, he then had this spectacular moment at the S's that bounced him out wide and Callum Davis went through. Haig tried to recover, but Blake Anglis got past him as well, and Haig kept on dropping places. But then Davis had gone wide down at Goddard's, and back up front came Haig. Callum Davis was determined to score a race win. Luke Reed carving his way through the pack as well. In the G40, Sam Harvey led early on. Pablo Jecquier had this rather spectacular lose coming out of Goddard's and found the barriers, but he did carry on as then Luke Reed made his move on the inside line to get himself past Blake Anglis. Callum Davis led the way, but was then going to be caught by Luke Reed, who would eventually make a move on the inside, coming down towards the Melbourne hairpin, but Callum Davis was not giving him any room. He falls lead onto the friction-free grass, the car tobogganing its way across the front and into the gravel. That was the end of Luke Reed, and it means that Callum Davis is the provisional race winner. Luke Garlick taking honours in the G40 class, and with it the championship to round out the 2023 Protyre Motorsport Ginetta GT Championship.